You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump's sudden obsession with an old enemy is not what it seems, based on an article by The Conversation. Trump is selling a red scare because he has nothing better. A losing president needs a phantom enemy. Donald Trump's Mount Rushmore speech was not about communism. It was about weakness. The source text gives the basic context: the staged America 250 spectacle, a president watching his party slip toward losses in Congress, and a leader whose approval is falling who chose to turn the midterms into an anti-communist morality play. That is the actual power structure here. Trump controls the megaphone, the federal state, and a media ecosystem eager to amplify whatever grievance he chooses. He does not need communists to exist in any meaningful political sense. He needs a demon that can be stretched to fit whatever coalition panic he wants to manufacture. The target is democratic politics. The immediate trigger, according to the source, is Zohran Mamdani's victory in New York on a Democratic Socialists of America ticket. That is not communism. It is social democracy, mislabeled on purpose so Trump can smear a Democratic left challenge as a foreign contagion. That distinction matters because the lie is the point. Anti-communism works best when it erases actual politics and replaces them with threat inflation. A mayoral victory becomes proof of subversion. Electoral dissent becomes civilizational danger. The goal is not analysis. It is to make ordinary democratic contest look like infiltration, misdirection as strategy. This is the oldest trick in right-wing politics: locate anxiety, attach it to an outsider, and call the resulting panic patriotism. The sauce is right that Trump is linking communism to immigration. That is not a slip of the tongue. It is a deliberate fusion of enemies into one target-rich fantasy. The article also notes that anti-communism can appeal across class and ethnic lines, including among some immigrant communities shaped by Cold War memory. That is exactly why it remains useful. It can be sold as memory, morality, or vigilance while doing the same old work: disciplining labor, splitting coalitions, and redirecting material anger away from the people actually looting power. A tradition built on blood. The historical record in the source text is blunt, and it should be. Anti-communism has not merely accompanied repression, it has organized it. It has justified invasions, fascist movements, mass torture, disappearances, and genocidal violence. That is the larger pattern Trump is tapping into. He is not inventing a new lie. He is recycling one of the most durable political technologies of the 20th century. The specific ideology changes. The mechanism does not. Call democratic opposition communist, and suddenly cruelty becomes defense, and state violence becomes hygiene. The real audience. The useful frame here is not whether Trump believes his own nonsense. It is who benefits from it. His rhetoric rallies a Republican base, pressures reluctant allies, and gives cover to people who would rather panic about red flags than confront economic capture, democratic erosion, or the failure of their own governing project. The source frames anti-communism as a recurring global force. That is correct, but the sharper point is this: when democratic institutions are weak or cowardly, anti-communism rushes in as an all-purpose excuse for authoritarian consolidation. It is the language reaction uses when it wants to make popular politics sound like an emergency. What this story really shows, the lesson is not that Trump is absurd. He is. The lesson is that absurdity is a weapon when it is backed by institutional power, historical memory, and a media system that treats bad faith panic as normal speech. Trump is not warning Americans about communism. He is trying to turn democratic competition into a security panic and to make his own political decline look like national peril. That is the pattern. Whenever reactionary power feels threatened, it reaches for an enemy within. The job of a democratic coalition is not to indulge the panic. It is to name the maneuver, refuse the category, and keep the fight focused on who is wielding power and who is using fear to keep it. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to AltaNet for today's article. With the automated voice of Bryce, thanks for listening.